Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
All right, here we are. Merry Christmas. Welcome into Follow the Money. The show's presented by DraftKings. Pauly, Matt Youmans today. Big show coming up. Underrated Sports Day, a triple header in the NFL, 5 games in the NBA. We'll look ahead to Week 17 lines. We'll talk to Doug Kazarian about the NBA card. Sorin Petro live from Kansas City as the Chiefs try to wrap up the division with the early game. Survivor, Carnage, we'll get to. Updated playoff odds, playoff picture. Busy show coming up. Can't wait to get in after it for the next 3 hours. Thanks for coming in. Merry Christmas. How you doing?
Feliz Navidad.
Yes.
Meli Kaliki Maka. Merry Christmas, Paul. Great to see you this morning, and great to be here. Actually, you said underrated sports day. This could be a great sports day with the 5 NBA games, if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the 3 football games capped by the what you just called the game of the year in the NFL, possible Super Bowl preview tonight.
Right.
Ravens-Niners. You can't ask for a better game than that on Christmas night.
You don't get a matchup like this late in the season with 2 1 seeds and with these records as well. So we'll get to that coming up in half an hour. If you had family obligations and you went to bed early, you missed a doozy. Belichick doesn't care about the draft pick. He's gone at the end of the year, and the Patriots take out the Steelers on the road, and they go into Denver and shock the Broncos, and you almost had a Christmas miracle as the Patriots were minus 2,300 in play, up 16 in the fourth quarter. Denver comes back to tie it, and then Sean Payton loses his mind. As Belichick was going to play for overtime, he runs on first down, timeout. He runs on second down, nothing, timeout. Then they throw, and they hit the big play, which sets up Ryland from 57, and the Patriots all but knock out the Broncos from the playoffs, and they get the 26-23 win, and they have now the 4th pick in the draft as it stands instead of the 2nd. So incredible job here by the Patriots not to lay down after a horrible season, to go into Pittsburgh and win, and then shock the Broncos last night as 7.5-point dogs.
Yeah, I think Sean Payton got a little too overconfident. Tried to play the bully role there and say, I'm going to use my timeouts because I know you're playing for overtime, and I'm going to force you to make a play. Well, guess what? Bailey's, be careful what you wish for. Bailey's after he made the play, and Ryland was the GOAT of the night. He misses a field goal, misses an extra point, and he comes on and makes amends for that. 56-yard field goal. I thought he was going to make it when he lined up, too.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah, I said this is the type of thing where the guy can't make a kick, and then he's going to make the kick to win the game. And, he's got the leg. He's got the leg, and you're at altitude. And at that point, you got nothing to lose if you're Ryland, because if you don't make well, I guess you got a lot to lose. If you don't make that kick, you're probably going to be looking for a job today. That was a job saver, and I think a redemption kick for him. But Sean Payton mismanages a lot of games. I think he gets a little bit too much credit. He is an elite coach, but he gets a little bit too much credit sometimes. He's still living off the Super Bowl from 12, 13 years ago.
It's a shoddy playoff record with some questionable losses in the playoffs. Both things can be true.
But he mismanages a lot of game situations, and that was one of them last night. You got the superior team.
Yeah.
You're at home. Patriots probably not going to drive down for a touchdown in overtime. Just play for OT. I think you got the better team. You're in the stronger position right there. And Belichick pulls it out. I got a number for you, Paul. So 23-7 the Patriots led going into the fourth quarter last night. Under Belichick, when leading by 14 points or more entering the fourth, the Patriots were 123-0 going into last night. They were that close to being 123-1.
Yep. I don't understand the timeouts there, because even if you stop them, you're going to be backed up with 30 seconds and no timeouts.
30 seconds, no timeouts.
Right, yeah, if that. So that's why it was a bad decision by Payton, and Belichick wanted to go to overtime. The other thing was, you get the fumble off the first play of the game. You go for it. You don't take the points. You can't cash in. And then the Mims fumble, which you rarely see that. He fumbles the kickoff twice, and the Patriots jump on it for a touchdown. And then Wilson gets cooking, and then they get another stop. They actually have the ball tied with a chance to win, and then New England gets a stop and gets the ball back before winning the game. So it's just it's a terrible loss for Denver. And it all but knocks them out of the playoff. But you thought they were going to finish 10-7. They get the Chargers and the Raiders to close. They'd had such a great turnaround since the 1-5 start. You can't lose that game, and you can't fall behind 16 against a bad New England team.
No, you can't. And you said that it was tied. Wilson was cooking. They had the ball and a chance to win the game. I think that's the point where everybody thought they were going to seize the moment and win the game. Sean Payton's first down play call was pathetic. It was a screen pass that ended up losing yards. There's no reason to throw a screen on first down. If you know anything about play calling, you throw a screen when you anticipate the defense is going to be on all-out rush, they're going to blitz, and you're trying to beat the pressure. You don't throw screen passes on first down in that situation. And I think that's another example of a game management mistake that Sean Payton makes. And, hey, even when the Broncos won 5 in a row, there were some ugly wins in there.
Sure.
And, the Packers game, I want to say the Vikings game on that Sunday night when they won 21-20, when they beat the Packers 19-17, it was a little bit fluky that they won 5 in a row. And they've never been that I think the team, either by the numbers or by the eyes, eye test, whatever you want to use, they've never been that team that blows you away. I think they've been a little bit fortunate to be in the playoff race. And last night, if you're stunned that the Broncos lost that game, you haven't been paying attention because they played with fire a lot of times, and when you do that in the NFL, you're going to get burned. And, hey, Paul, anytime, I even think the Circus Survivor entrants that played the Broncos had to be a little bit nervous, aside from that one arrogant Jack who said, "I never lose." I'll let you talk about him in a minute.
Okay.
Anybody who played the Broncos in Survivor last night, you had to be a little bit nervous about it. In the NFL, any 7-point favorite can lose, right?
Yep. Especially what's gone on the last month. Absolutely.
And that's exactly why the Circus Survivor type and the Survivor contests in general are so crazy and so popular, because things like this in the NFL happen on a regular basis.
Yep. So probably goodbye Caleb Williams or Drake May for the Patriots with a win. The other story is the Survivor carnage. 6 people here were on the Broncos. We are down to 4 in the largest betting contest ever, $9.2 million. It's now worth $2.3 million to the 4 people that are left. Great job, Indiana Jet. Follow the money army. He watches every day. He stepped out and took the Bears. Circus Master, in a gutsy move, took the Rams on Thursday. He was the only guy who had the Rams. Jax Jags took the Packers, which turned out to be a sweat. Yeah. They almost blew a 14-point fourth-quarter lead. And L.A. Jones, who's been on the show, who put in Green Bay on accident on Thanksgiving, is still alive. He also had the Bears. So now we'll see. They all are on the Eagles. There's nothing they can do. They don't have Kansas City. They don't have San Francisco. They all have used Philadelphia. And if the Eagles lose, they split $9.2 million. We'll see if we finally get a chop. And, I was candid about this Friday. I know your partner, Wes Reynolds, tweeted about it. It was very hard to like Golden Boy Sean Perry. I'm the greatest bettor ever. I never lose. This act type thing he was doing. And he was one of the people on Denver. And he goes out. And like the other 5 people that were still left that had Denver, Bowtie Cabaret, who I hope he was able to hedge and make some money. He had not hedged up to last week, which surprised me. He's a pianist in town. Our guy Chris, TKO Bets, who owns his own business, he was also on Denver. He was shocked there was no chop. Golden Boy was not the only person that refused to chop, but now he goes out, and there were a lot of people rooting against him, how he acted and behaved, and I was one of them. So it was hard to get behind him. I don't understand what this, how much did he have of himself? The poker community can't stand him. Just look at the Las Vegas, Todd Dewey. He did an article on him in the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Just look at the comments under the story, and it'll tell you the poker community can't stand the guy. So there will be no win for Golden Boy, as now we're down to 4, and that's the other storyline here, as we'll see what these guys decide to do if Philly indeed wins today, and I expect them to win.
Yeah, I don't like to root against people, but Golden Boy is one of those people you have to root against. You have to root against. He's so arrogant, and when you're arrogant like that, it's going to come back to haunt you eventually. And this one came sooner than later. I think that most of us probably say it's too bad the Broncos can't lose and knock him out and the other 5 still advance.
Yes. Well
you
said.
don't want to root against the other 5
Right.
and some of the good people who got knocked out of the contest. When you get that close, and you've been that close to big money like that, it's even more painful when you're that close and you lose. But, I think Golden Boy kind of relished playing the Tony Montana bad guy role. Don't you? He was trying to play that character. He almost wants people to root against him and to hate him, I think.
Well, I'm the best in the world, and I never lose.
You don't make,
stuff.
comments like that unless you want people to, if you're trying to tick people off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But certainly he was wrong the whole time. He wasn't the only one that refused to chop, and he also didn't have the best portfolio.
Right.
Because there were guys like Circus Master and Rod Beck Apples that had better teams available as well. And even if he advanced and Denver won, the Jacksonville angle, Week 17, wasn't gold, as Jacksonville can't win a game now. So he was the only person with Jacksonville left, but that lost some of the luster as well. Up next, we have some incredible matchups we could be looking at Wild Card Weekend, along with the updated playoff picture as well, and playoff odds as Flacco does it again, Stefanski does it again. Great day yesterday in the NFL. We'll run it all down coming up next on Follow the Money. Merry Christmas, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Juice Reel, a free betting intelligence app and a tool every bettor needs. It links your betting accounts into one app, delivers in-depth analytics on your betting history. You have access to the history of billions of bets placed by all Juice Reel users. In-depth betting analytics with billions of data points enables you to tail the winners and fade the losers. Download Juice Reel today, REEL. Free app in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. It's free. Juice Reel, REEL, Juice Reel. Go get it. There are so many good stories right now in the NFL, led by what Flacco's doing. Off the street, off the couch, throws for 300 yards every week. Cooper sets the franchise record in the win against Houston. Game was over early, and they're alive and well. Not only are they going to the playoffs, I wouldn't want to play this team. What was the problem when either it was Watson or whoever was playing quarterback for Cleveland? And Njoku's been awesome. Cooper's been great. This passing attack is phenomenal. Now you lost Chubb, but Ford has done a good job. The defense finally played well on the road. If they take on whoever wins the AFC South, I'm taking Cleveland. And I think they're going to put a scare into anyone in the first round the way they're playing. Flacco at DraftKings is now 4-1 to be comeback player of the year.
I said it last week. I think he should be. If he beat the Texans, I thought he should be comeback player of the year. If it's not Flacco, who is it? Tell me who it is.
Was it going to be Hamlin?
Why? What's he done on the field? Okay, just the fact that he got on the field.
Right, I know.
I get it.
I know.
That he got back on the field and say, well, he almost died on the field last year. But if you look at his production as a player, how can you vote for him as comeback player of the year? I think it's got to be Flacco. I think he won the award yesterday.
Wow.
I think he should have. I don't know if they're going to vote that way.
Okay.
But if I'm voting, Joe Flacco's a comeback player of the year. Hey, the Browns signed Deshaun Watson to the worst contract in NFL history. Flacco walks in off the street and is better than Deshaun Watson right off the bat.
Yep. Well said. Now, is Stefanski also coach of the year?
I don't know if I'd go that far. There's a lot of other really qualified candidates for coach of the year.
Well, if the Colts miss the playoffs, if they win 11 games and the Colts miss the playoffs and the Texans miss the playoffs, I can't give it to Dan Campbell, even though they won the division yesterday. If he wins 11 games with Joe Flacco without Chubb and Watson, it's hard to ignore Stefanski again for coach of the year.
Why can't Kyle Shanahan win it?
I just think there's too much talent on the team. Right?
Right. And all those years, Bill Belichick was not winning
right.
coach of the year when the Patriots we're rolling. I understand that the coach of the best team in the league is not going to win that award very often. I think Shane Steichen's done a hell of a job.
Yes.
Yeah, Stefanski's going to be a worthy candidate, but I don't know. I think I would probably lean to like I always think that the guys who finish with the best records deserve more acknowledgement for the Coach of the Year. John Harbaugh, Kyle Shanahan. Why can't those guys win it? Does it always have to be a coach of an overachieving team?
I understand where you're coming from. The other thing is he's 8-1 now to win comeback player of the year is Baker Mayfield. And here's another team. They're going to give Dallas fits in the first round. And that appears to be the matchup. Tampa wins again. They blow out Jacksonville. Also a game that was over early. He continues to connect and have a great rapport with Evans. And Mayfield's playing great ball. And Tampa wins again. I cannot believe they're only a 3-point favorite at home against the Saints Sunday.
Yeah.
So you have Bowles, who I thought they were going to go under their win total and he was going to be gone midway through the season. They have turned it around. They continue to light up the scoreboard. They're winning games. Trevor Lawrence with an unbelievable comment after the game. If you watch us play, it looks like we don't practice. And you won the win total bet that they were 6-2 and 8-3, and now they went under their win total with the loss as they lose again and fall to 8-7. You have that story, and I'll tell you, as bad as Dallas has looked on the road, for the second year in a row, it could be Tampa hosting the Cowboys, and I think they're going to give Dallas fits if that's the matchup.
Yeah, and the Cowboys rolled into Tampa last year and made the Bucs look bad, and that was Tom Brady at quarterback. Don't forget about that. That was one of Brady's worst playoff games I've ever seen. But that Dallas defense was elite at that time. There's a lot to talk about with the Cowboys. I think we can get into the show. I do want to mention one other coach. I should have mentioned we were talking about Coach of the Year. How about a coach who led a team to a division title for the first time in 30 years, Dan Campbell?
Well, I know. But
I don't think he's the best coach or he's done the best coaching job necessarily, but what has Stefanski done or Steichen done that Dan Campbell hasn't done this year?
Well, Jordan Love had a bad year. The Vikings lost their two best players. Nick Mullins, they still should have won that game. Nick Mullins threw 4 interceptions. I'd have to give it to Steichen or Stefanski over Dan Campbell.
Oh, you can find a lot of Browns games, too, that they probably should have lost.
Yeah.
You know?
But to be down this many quarterbacks and you don't have Chubb.
Colts have had their fair share of lucky wins, too.
Well, no Taylor and no Richardson, though. These guys winning games with Minshew. But, to finally win the division for the first time since 93.
I think Derek Stevens was getting out of college the last time the Lions won the division. He said he was at the game when the Lions last won a playoff game 30 years ago. I think Dan Campbell deserves some consideration for that award.
Oh, he's the favorite at plus 150 at DraftKings. So let me run these potential matchups by you. Dallas, Tampa. Seattle at Philly. Stafford at Detroit. How good would that be? Rams at Lions. Bills against the Chiefs. All these games are in play now, wild card weekend, super wild card weekend. And I would take the Rams to beat the Lions. I think Seattle can beat Philly. I think Tampa can beat Dallas. And no one wants to see the Bills, even though it was a struggle Saturday night. But now the Bills are minus 1,600 at DraftKings to make the playoffs as everything continues to go their way. They're winning games and teams around them are losing.
I was at that game Saturday night at SoFi Stadium in L.A. Yeah, I was at the Bills-Chargers game and played the Chargers plus 12.
Yeah.
Exactly what I thought was how it played out. The Bills were off big wins over the Chiefs and Cowboys. They traveled cross-country, faced a team that just gave up 63 points in a blowout loss to the Raiders. I thought the Bills were going to be flat, and they came out flat in the first half. They overcame that. They had 3 ridiculous turnovers in that game.
Yeah.
And overcame that and came back. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs made some big plays there at the end and come back to win the game 24-22. Don't think that just because the Bills squeaked by the Chargers that there's something wrong with them. That was a bad spot for the Bills.
Yep.
They're going to be a dangerous team when they get in the playoffs. They could run all the way through the AFC to the Super Bowl. Bills could be a Super Bowl team.
I agree with all that. And the Cook fumble was big, but the defense standing up and holding the Chargers to field goals. It was a great job, and then the drive at the end was phenomenal as well. So where are you at with the Cowboys? And the game of the day, a low-scoring game, Dallas loses again on the road. Miami is in the playoffs. Defense was great, except, the 3rd and goal from the 10, whatever it was. You can't give that up. But they walk it off with the game-winning field goal, and Miami wins 22-20, an entertaining game. But the Dallas fumble inside the 2 was a killer. And now they drop to 10-5, and the Eagles are going to win the division, barring a collapse.
Cowboys made their road a lot tougher with that loss. But here, I don't think less of the Cowboys like they did a week ago when they got blown out in Buffalo. Because they got dominated in Buffalo, didn't show up for that game. They gave up 266 rushing yards. The defense was a disaster. Mm-hmm. I actually thought the Cowboys played pretty well yesterday in Miami. And in fact, Paul, if not for the officiating breaks that the Dolphins caught in that game, the Cowboys might be walking away with the win, probably outplayed the Dolphins the majority of the game yesterday. I thought the Cowboys played much, much better. That was one of their better road performances yesterday. Yeah, they lost 22-20, but there are positives you can take away because the defense was much more effective at stopping the running attack. But the Dolphins get the number 4 rushing offense in the NFL. At some points, it looks like the best rushing offense in the NFL. Dallas did a nice job containing that rushing offense. If not for that fumble, like you said, inside the 2, you fumble at the goal line, probably would have been a much different game. I really don't downgrade Dallas for this loss like he did a week ago when the Cowboys got crushed at Buffalo.
Well, the issues on the road offensively compared to home are alarming. And now you're going to have to go to San Francisco and win.
Yeah, that's
if you want to make the Super Bowl. And
that's going to be hard.
I know, and we saw what happened in the first meeting and also what happened last year too. So it's right there for the Eagles now as they play the Giants twice in Arizona, and also the tiebreaker would be the 5th tiebreaker.
I know the Eagles have an easier path in the playoffs, but don't you look at them and think they even have they have more problems than the Cowboys?
I think that's fair. Yeah. Although I do like the defense looked good with Patricia on Monday night, with the exception of the final drive, which was silly, but still, you got to worry about Hurts, the flu, he's injured, the turnovers. Right?
Turnovers. He has not been right this season.
No, he hasn't been. No doubt. That's the biggest game of the year coming up tonight. A triple header in the NFL and Monday Night Football with the Niners hosting the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, 19-1 against the NFC. We'll run down everything in this monster matchup coming up next with all the props and everything you can bet at DraftKings coming up next. VSiN, Follow the Money, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Before you make your next bet, be sure to visit vsin.com. Check the current betting splits data. Want to know where the money and bets are moving every NFL or bowl game? It's updated with DraftKings odds every 5 minutes. Find out where the public's betting based on the number of tickets and where the money doesn't match the public opinion. We're always improving our betting splits, and we recently added soccer from all over the world. Another way we're here to make you a smarter, better year-round. Check it out, betting splits every game. vsin.com/splits. Here it is, game of the year. 49ers at home to Baltimore. Niners up to 6 in this game. Lamar Jackson, as I mentioned, 19-1 career against the NFC's 11-2 ATS run as a dog. And the 49ers trying to wrap up the 1 seed. No one's got a better A game. And I want to get your thoughts on this. Interesting comments from Baltimore about disrespectful with the point spread. It's like, of course you're going to be underdogs. You're going on the road, taking on the best team. So I thought there was bizarre comments by Baltimore. But certainly, are they the best team in the AFC? I don't know. They could get the 1 seed. But it's cause for concern what's going on with Baltimore, that they had no business beating the Rams. They almost blew that game against the Chargers on Sunday night. And they played with their food in the Jacksonville game as well. So I want to see more firepower from this offense. Certainly it's a great rushing attack. But again, you lost Andrews, you lost Mitchell. So other guys are going to have to step up. And I want to see the kind of success, if they can get success, on the ground tonight against the 49ers running the ball, as San Francisco gave up 230 on the ground in the win against Arizona last week.
Yeah, no question. And I like the Ravens a lot better in the road dog role. I never want to bet the Ravens when they're home favorites. We see them, fall flat as favorites too often. too many times. But when they go on the road, they're a different team. And I think Lamar Jackson made some interesting comments about that last week. I referenced this story on my Friday night show, and I think I know what you're talking about, where Ravens players were saying they felt disrespected by being the underdog in this game.
Yeah.
Obviously, these guys who were quoted in the story, the players, know nothing about odds making. You're not going to go on the road and be a favorite in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. But Lamar Jackson said, quote, "I believe we play better when we're doubted and people aren't picking us to win the game. I don't want them to pick us. I like being the underdog." And I like to hear Lamar Jackson say things like that, because one reason I'm an underdog player is I think a lot of times the underdog is going to play with more edge. You know, people say chip on the shoulder, however you want to put it. But I think that's especially true with the Ravens. When they're in the dog role, they play with a lot more of an edge. And when they're at home as a favorite, a lot of times they come up a little bit flat. So I like them in this situation tonight in San Francisco. How about 7 straight Monday night dogs winning outright, the longest streak in NFL history?
Does it continue?
I'm not going to go that far.
All right. It's right. It is historic. I can't believe it. And here's the graphic. The Broncos in Week 10, catching a bunch, beat the Bills. The Eagles beat the Chiefs 21-17. The Bears beat the Vikings. The Bengals beat Jacksonville, double-digit dog. Both came in Week 14. The Giants, Tommy DeVito got me, and beat Jordan Love. The Titans down 14 late, beat Miami. And then Seattle, with the Drew Lock drive, beat the Eagles. So see if the Ravens can make it 8 in a row tonight. 7 straight Monday night dogs have won outright. So you have that angle tonight. You also have the MVP battle. Now, where are you at with this? Purdy is minus 230 to win the MVP. The last 6 games, he has a passer rating of 138. He has 17 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. 6 times this year, he's had a rating of 130. That's tied for the most ever in a season. So is it as simple as if the Niners win, it's over? Maybe. But I would think not only does Lamar Jackson have to win the game, he would have to have a great performance on the ground and through the air to come and overtake Purdy, because Purdy has been so good in putting up historic numbers here, as Lamar's in the 4-1 range and the second choice to win the MVP. At DraftKings, McCaffrey is now down as low as 8-1 to win the MVP, as Dak is out of it now and Tua's out of it and Hurts is out of it. What do you think here with the MVP battle?
Yeah, I thought Dak was out of it before the loss of the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I really thought he was out of it. Why is Tua still 17-1?
He should be out of there too. Yeah. I should be more with Tyreek Hill.
Tua's got no shot. So Brock Purdy is such a great story that I think he's probably going to win the vote here. I mean, you're going from the last pick of the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, to MVP. People just love that. They want to vote this guy MVP. I'm going to say the quarterback who wins the game tonight is the MVP. It's that simple. First of all, the Ravens are not going to win unless Lamar Jackson has a big-time game.
Probably.
And if that happens, he's going to be MVP. He's going to overtake Purdy and win the award. I think it's not a lock, but it would be 90-something% that Lamar is going to be MVP if he can, like you said, have a big-time game and win tonight in San Francisco.
Well, San Francisco.
I mean, if the Niners win, it's Purdy's award. I would love to sit here and make a case for Christian McCaffrey, but when you look at Purdy's numbers and really break them down, you can't say he deserves it, yes.
Where are you at with Baltimore and this offense and dealing with these injuries, and if they're the best team in the AFC? And what do you – I mean, the numbers are good. It's a number 1 rush offense. It's a top 5 offense. You continue to lose people, though. And, you know, it's a guy who only has 17 touchdown passes, too. On the flip side, I'm shocked. It's been this way the whole year, though. It's a top 5 defense and the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL. And they've had the lead entering the fourth quarter in every game.
That's right.
So this
they've rarely trailed this season.
I know.
Talking about the Ravens. Here's another thing about the Ravens. They're 5-1 in true road games, 6-1 away from home. And you mentioned the number on Lamar Jackson that I think is very telling, and I love this, that he is 9-4 straight up and 11-2 against the spread as a dog. And Jackson does have 22 total touchdowns. Don't forget, actually, if you look at total yards, he's got more than Purdy, 3,846 and 22 total touchdowns. You can't just look at the passing numbers with Lamar. You got to look at the rushing numbers as well. Purdy still has better numbers if you stack them up side by side. Where do I stand with the Ravens? Best team in the AFC, but not infallible. They can be knocked off. We just saw the Rams go to Baltimore and almost knock it off 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
If that block in the back on the punt return was called, who knows? Rams might have won that game. And that's how the Ravens won on that punt return, and there was an obvious block in the back. But I will say that the Buffalo Bills are going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs.
I agree. Is everyone playing for second place? Can you believe the odds in the future market on the Niners? They're as low as 2-1 to win the Super Bowl. And down the street, again, we've talked about, they're like minus 140. You have to lay $140 to win 100 to win the NFC.
I know.
But you saw what they did against Dallas and Philadelphia. So it wasn't even close.
You look what the Cowboys have failed to do on the road. You look at the Eagles' problems. Yeah, I think the Niners deserve to be at that number. You have a future on the 49ers, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You got to feel pretty good about that one.
27,000. Yeah. The blackjack.
Was it like, at that point, was it around
I got him
6 to 1?
7-1.
7-1?
Plus 720, I think. Yeah.
You got to feel pretty good about
that. But it's...
Barring an injury, let's say, if there's an injury. Football's a game of attrition. He's have injuries all the time. If McCaffrey goes down, who knows? Then all of a sudden the playing field is leveled.
Sure.
So anything can happen.
Yeah, but it's just these next two games are enormous for Baltimore because they can still go to the Super Bowl, but if you want to, you get the 1 seed, you figure to lose this game tonight, and then you play Miami.
Yeah.
So that's going to decide the 1 seed, and then all of a sudden you could be playing a Buffalo or a Cleveland in the first round. You already lost to Cleveland at home and couldn't stop Deshaun Watson and the way Flacco's playing. So I'm interested to see what they're able to do on the ground and what the passing attack looks like against San Francisco as well. Now, they certainly have weapons, but I love Flowers. Likely's a beast. But what are you going to get out of Beckham? And then what happens if you fall behind? Can Lamar Jackson bring you back? Certainly I can't. I can't get past the fact. I like the guy, but I can't get past the fact with the failures that Lamar has had in playoff time. It hasn't gone well.
No, it hasn't. But, a lot of great coaches, great players over the course of the years have had trouble in the playoffs, and then they get that breakthrough year. And maybe this is it for Lamar Jackson. The one thing I can't get past with the Ravens is I think they're a much more dangerous team, like I said, on the road when they're underdogs. When they're at home, sometimes they just don't play with the same edge. And so I think the home field advantage for Baltimore in the playoffs is not that big a deal to me. But they do come out of the toughest division in the NFL.
Yeah. Yes.
Even with Joe Burrow going down and the quarterback problems the Steelers have had this season, that's still the best division in football, top to bottom, no doubt about it.
Yep.
The worst team in the division is the Steelers at 8-7.
Yep.
Yeah.
DraftKings has a ton of props. We'll get to all those coming up. 3 games tonight. Most passing yards, rushing, receiving, highest scoring game, team to score the most points. We'll get to all those coming up in about 15 minutes as well. Up next, we'll recap a wild weekend with the Bulls, soccer, and the props in the NFL with win some, lose some, and some vicious beats as well. And you won't believe what Ohtani did. All that coming up. Win some, lose some next. VSiN, Follow the Money, the Sports Betting Network.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
First touchdown with the early games, the Browns 9-1. Highest scoring game, Packers-Panthers, paid 15-1. Highest scoring team, the Browns 14-1. Lowest scoring game, Titans-Seahawks 9-1. Lowest scoring team, the Colts 17-1. Most passing yards, Nick Mullins 8-1. How can a veteran continue to play like that with the horrific decisions and he won't take a sack? 400 yards, 4 interceptions, and the interception when did you see the ball come out a duck?
Yeah.
Jefferson's open. They would have won the game, and it comes out.
Yep.
Oh, terrible job. Most receiving yards, Cooper 30-1. Most rushing yards, Aaron Jones, 25-1. At DraftKings, will a wide receiver have 200 yards? Yes, 4-1. Bills Chargers over, 40 up to 44. Coastal Carolina money line plus 275. The under, 54.5 down to 48. San Jose State with nothing. What was that?
I have no
Hawaii
idea.
Bowl. Yeah.
No idea what happened there. There's been a lot of bizarre things happening in the college football bowl season so far, and you just can't explain some of this stuff.
That's right. Air Force plus 4 went off the favorite and beat James Madison. Duke money line plus 220. Northwestern money line plus 230. They beat Utah. 10 dogs have won outright already in bowl season. Soccer, Luton Town plus 450. Beat Newcastle. Burnley plus 420. They beat Fulham. Wolverhampton beat Chelsea plus 230. Sheffield United, Aston Villa draw plus 650. Updated goal in the first 10 numbers. At home, the Dallas Stars, yes, 7 in a row. The Blues, 10 of 11. Tampa Bay Lightning, 9 of 10. Seattle, 14 of 16. On the road, Ottawa, goal in the first 10, yes, 11 in a row. The Blackhawks, 11 of 12. Calgary, 8 of 9. St. Louis, 13 of 15. Montreal, no, 7 in a row. Thanks to Ian Duncan for all those numbers. Also win some. Shohei Ohtani and Joe Kelly's wife. Did you see this?
Oh, the Porsche.
Yes.
Is that what it was? Yeah. Okay.
Joe Kelly gave Ohtani number 17 for free. Ohtani said thank you and bought his wife a Porsche for Christmas to return the favor.
That's great.
How about that? That is something.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Great.
Shohei buying her a Porsche is like me buying you lunch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
With the type of money that guy's got now.
Oh, God. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. Merry Christmas. This happened over the weekend. The bettor with the $2,000 ticket on Brock Purdy to win MVP at 100-1 sold it on PropSwap for $125,000. He listed it for 100. He was offered 90. He said no. Then Purdy's numbers continue to go up. He's as high as 260 now. And he said, okay, I'll take the 125 over the weekend. Ben Fox with the tweet there.
I don't know. Would you have done that?
Take the buyout?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You don't know what's going to happen tonight. You could get hurt. They could lose. Yeah. You wouldn't take it?
I don't know. Not when you're talking about minus 250 favorite.
Well, you said Lamar could play. Okay, what do you think of this? Darren Ravel tweet. This is the spicy jalapeno popper cheeseburger. Can you get behind this?
Maybe. Not crazy about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't look terrible. I've seen a lot worse food experiments.
Okay.
What do you think?
No, I don't like anything spicy. I'm weak.
Really?
Oh, I'm weak
You don't
with
like
that stuff. Oh, God. When I go with Thai food and all that stuff, when they ask you, I go way low. Oh, yeah.
You're kidding.
I can't handle it. No way. Lose some. Utah State in the under.
Surprising.
Plus 3 went off a 2.5-point favorite, and the under 63.5 down to 58. Routed by Georgia State. What was this? South Alabama, Eastern Michigan under. 48.5 down to 42. At one point, South Alabama had more points than Eastern Michigan had yards. Buried them. The Bills, 9.5 up to 13. No good. Jets Commanders under. 40 down to 37. Turned out to be a shootout. Lose some. We're living in a society. Throw her out.
Oh, no.
DB Cooper style. Barefoot, feet up on the chair in front of her, and that's how the flight started. You can imagine how bad it was. Absolute animals. Insanity to act like that. It doesn't end, this behavior on airplanes. Now I'm going to give you a warning here. This is graphic video. The Colorado Avalanche broadcast team. The guy takes a sip of the cup. Yeah, that's his broadcast partner's spitter. Oh my God. You know, it ever happened to someone you know? I know Josh Hansen is my roommate in college. He knocked over the bong water.
Yeah.
And ruined everything for the year because it was all over the carpet and it stunk so bad. The play-by-play guy is chewing tobacco.
I get it. Yeah.
He has his cup of spit, and his broadcast partner grabbed the wrong cup and drank from it, and then it's live on the air when it happened. I can't believe he didn't vomit.
Have you ever accidentally drank out of a spit cup?
No, I have not.
I have, actually.
You have?
Yeah, but it was my own many years ago.
Oh, God.
I don't chew like that anymore, but way back in the day, and even when you drink out of your own spit cup by accident, it's nasty.
Yeah.
And he's doing that with his partner's spit cup.
That was making
You
the
would
rounds
think
on
if
social media.
you call games next to him for so long, you would know that his spit
Wow.
cup's sitting out there. You got to be aware of that, right?
Get rid of it too. I mean, we'll put it way off to the side though. That's the other thing. You were at the game Saturday. Lose some. The reaction to Bills Chargers being on Peacock. Well, wait till people find out that Peacock will have exclusively a Saturday night NFL playoff game. Wait till that happens. It is January 13th.
Hey, there have been a lot of big-time college football and college basketball games to come that are going to be on Peacock. That's actually one of the few apps I did buy a subscription to.
Yeah, I have it because of the Premier League. Yeah,
Okay.
I have no problem with it. But people are going to freak out and lose their minds when they realize you got to watch an NFL playoff game on Peacock only. Bad for the books. The Browns +2 went off a 3-point favorite and buried the Texans. By the way, no one on the Browns can kick a 20-yard field goal because Hopkins got hurt. You can't put a wide receiver. The punter can't kick a 20-yard field goal or an extra point. That blows my mind. The Atlanta money wouldn't stop. +1 went off a 3-point favorite and beat the Colts. Dallas, Miami under 52 down to 48. The Jags win total under 10.5.
Winner.
Lock it up. How about that? They were 8-3. Can you believe it?
No, I can't. I thought I had a loser.
Several bad beats. Were you watching this Friday night? The Warriors were laying 11.5 against the Wizards. The Wizards down 14 hit a 3 at the buzzer. The entire Warriors reacted like they bet the game.
On the bench.
Peyton, Chris
Yeah,
Paul, I
I
couldn't
know.
believe it.
I
Or
saw
like
that.
their best friend had $1 million on it.
You don't see players react like
No,
that
you don't.
on a shot at the end when the point spread is
Yeah.
decided like that.
Several moves.
I don't think I've ever seen players react like
I haven't
that
either.
during it. Yeah.
The whole bench went nuts
I know.
when the Wizards hit the 3 at the buzzer. Several mooses. Oilers Rangers total was 6.5. It was 1-0 in the third period. 6 third period goals. 4-3 final. Saturday night, the Blackhawks plus a goal and a half. They led St. Louis 5-2 in the third. They lost 7-5. And Sheffield United was 12-1 to beat Aston Villa. They gave up a goal in the 98th minute, and it was a 1-1 draw. All I want for holidays is the NBA action. 5 games today in the association. New customers get $150 instantly in bonus bets just for betting $5. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code FOLLOW. Great props, great menu, and all the NFL numbers as well. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Code FOLLOW. The crown is yours at DraftKings. Go get it.
I'll give you a bad beat from last night.
Go ahead.
Diamond Head Classic Championship in Honolulu. Georgia Tech is 6-point underdog to Nevada. Props to Steve Alford and the Wolfpack. Keenan Blackshear, Jared Lucas. This Nevada team's 12-1. It's a 1 or 2 point game with about 3 minutes to go. You get it missed shots and free throws in the final minute. Georgia Tech misses a shot, gets blocked. Down 6. For no reason, Georgia Tech player runs over and fouls the Nevada player. I think it was Blackshear. No, it was Lucas. Fouled Lucas with 1 second left. He wasn't even trying to steal the ball. He intentionally fouled him with 1 second left, down 6. He made both free throws to cover and win by 8. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
You got a 6-point play up your sleeve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See weird stuff like that in college all the time.
yeah.
I know.
I know.
Especially tournament time. Down like 13 with a minute left. Up next, we'll get back to the NFL with the other 2 games. We'll start with Chiefs Raiders, and this team is 13-1 to the under this year in the fourth quarter. That's coming up next on Follow the Money.